Hey there, this is Brisendine, and I am coming to you live from Santa Barbara, California. Thank you for stopping by, and I'd like to congratulate you on stumbling upon this video. If you're watching this video, it tells me right away that you're somebody who's curious and desires more in your life, and I hope this will be the first step that you take towards living that life you want and deserve. I'd like to start with a question. Are you somebody who wants to learn a simple step-by-step system for achieving virtually anything you want, and to do this while living a life that's full of purpose, fulfillment, and abundance? And if I could give you a hint, it's not rocket science. And I say rocket science because I'm not a rocket scientist, which means this is achievable. This is fully achievable. This is a system that I've used to overcome limiting beliefs, feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness. I've used this system to grow several successful businesses, make money, transform my health, and create amazing relationships, both romantically and personal relationships, friends, and so on. This system works without taking up a ton of your valuable time. It can work without feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or confused. And this system works without buying miracle cures or gimmicky products. We've all been there before, sitting up late at night, watching the infomercial for 4 easy payments of whatever. None of that will happen. You don't need those things for this system. And what you're going to do is you're going to discover how this system can empower you to live the life you have always dreamed of and create a virtually endless amount of possibility and opportunity. I've always loved this picture because for me, it's so serene, so peaceful, but it's also symbolic of what I feel like would just be arriving. You have your own private patio, you have a pool that flows in the ocean, possibility and opportunity. For me personally, I've used this system to travel the world. That's a picture of me in northern Alberta, Canada. Earn more money, build several successful businesses, improve my health. When I first started exercising, before I started using the system, I was a tall, skinny, 160-pound guy. In this photo right here, I'm probably about 225 pounds, fairly lean, athletic. I've used it to overcome fear, depression, and feelings of worthlessness. I swear to you, no joke. I used to be that person that when I would look in the mirror, I would hate everything I saw and look back at me. And my daily monologue with myself was, you're worthless, you'll never amount to anything, you're a loser. And when we speak, I'll tell you more about that. But that was me. I've also used this system to write and publish a book and to speak in front of thousands. That's right. I went from hating who I saw in the mirror, not even being able to look myself in the eye, to being able to look an audience in the eye and speak in front of thousands. So if you want to eliminate that overwhelming feeling that you'll never be enough and begin living the life you know you are meant for, if you want to finally rid yourself of fear, worry, and doubt and experience an abundance of daily love, joy, and gratitude, you're in the right place. And just to make sure, this is for somebody, this is for someone who is stuck and worried that this is it. If you've ever been in that place, or you're in that place right now where you feel that way, if you're confronted with that overwhelming feeling that you'll never be enough, and if you feel like you're fed up with buying products and trainings to try to fix things, but they leave you feeling more uncertain, right? We've all tried to get the fix-it kit, and it's like you can't even get past the instructions. If you're someone who wants to begin living a life where you are thriving instead of merely surviving, this system, like I said, it changed my life. So who am I? As I mentioned, my name is Brisendine, and I've had the honor to successfully coach over 4,000 people to thriving lives free from fear and filled with abundance. These people are people who have lived all over the world. To date, I think I've worked with somebody in every single continent except for Antarctica. So 6 out of 7 is not bad. I'm somebody who's living both my passion and purpose, as all I've ever wanted to do since I was a little kid is help people. I grew up in a small town, used to be the shyest, most insecure person you'd ever meet. I mentioned a little bit of that before. And I spent several years of my life consumed by painfully self-deprecating and depressive thoughts. I cannot stress that enough. My daily pep talk to myself used to be what a worthless waste of space I was, how I was an accident, you name it, and I thought it. I have devoted my life to helping people because I know what is possible, and that no one has to live their life in pain. I spent way too much of my life in pain, and being on the other side of it now, I know that we're not meant to be in pain. So one of my greatest joys is to be able to help people who are in pain, a place of pain, move beyond that. How I discovered the system. I mentioned before I had a deep desire to help people. I wanted to earn more money. I wanted to have great physical health. I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to have more free time. I didn't want to be stuck in a 9 to 5 doing all those things. I wanted to make my own schedule. I really wanted higher quality relationships, and I wanted to experience more love. Love for myself and others. Again, I wanted to be able to look in the mirror and like the person who was looking back at me. I wanted to be able to look in the mirror and love the person who was looking back at me. Initially, I did not know how to make the above happen. I'm not going to lie. I did not just wake up with the epiphany at all. I spent a lot of time and a lot of money figuring it out, going through books and seminars and tapes and CDs. Yes, I even listened to tapes before we had the CDs and MP3s. I paid hundreds and eventually thousands of dollars into the gimmicky things and the fads that you see. There's the fad for this, the fad for that. You do this, do this, do this, and you snap your fingers and poof, it all happens. I paid for a lot of them, and so there's a lot of trial and error going through it to figure it all out. Let me ask you a question before we go any further. I just want you to take a second, pause, and ask yourself, what does your dream life look like? Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and what does your dream life look like? Are you traveling around the world? Are you sitting on the beach with your lover, sipping on a drink with an umbrella in it, feeling the warm summer breeze flow through your hair? Are you someone who you log on to your bank and you see numbers in there with lots of zeros behind them? Is your dream life one where you have a house that is bought and paid for and has plenty of space for friends and family to come over? Are you someone where your dream life is you're standing in front of a room of tens or maybe even thousands, inspiring them with your mission, your purpose? Does your dream life look like one where you're able to go to far off distant lands, travel up rivers, climb mountains, conquer oceans? What does your dream life look like? And contrast that with what does your life actually look like? What does your life actually look like? Is it stressful? Is it overwhelmed? Do you feel like you have to pull your hair out? Do you feel like sometimes you can't even look yourself in the eye because you don't know the person looking back at you? Do you feel burnt out, worn down? Do you feel like you might never be enough? If you feel any of those ways, then something's clearly not working. I can appreciate the person in this picture wanting to bury your head in the sand because I've definitely felt that before. You might be like I was, where you had lots of ideas, but none that were producing what you wanted. You had the ideas, but they weren't producing the results. It felt like every book you read, every training you attended yielded great ideas, but again, no results. You'd walk away inspired, but not knowing what to do with that inspiration. You feel overwhelmed with the uncertainty of what to do. It's like there's all these choices, all these paths that you could take, and you don't even know which one to go on. You would go and walk the path if you knew which way to go, but you don't know which way to go. And most significantly, you feel like you were meant for more. Real quick, how this system changed Paula's life. This is Paula, one of my clients, and Paula came to me. She felt like her life was non-existent with no sense of purpose. Paula had a heroin problem for over 25 years. And what happened is, Paula had been to specialists and all sorts of stuff. She tried things, had struggled with it forever. She just couldn't get it. And she was at the point where she didn't know what to do. With Paula, we discovered the real problem and we destroyed the root of that problem. We were able to install empowering patterns, and as a result, Paula is living a strong and purposeful life. Paula's emails are some of my favorite emails I get in weekly emails from clients. She understands her importance and is excited for all she has to live for. And most significantly, Paula is currently heroin-free, 29 weeks and counting as of this video. Over the years, I've discovered that there are four big mistakes that you're making if you're not achieving the success and results you want. Mistake number one is you're overly focused on the voices in your head. We all have those voices going around. They're all pulling us in a million different directions, and we don't know which one to listen to. Here's the problem. If you're listening to them constantly, it's like expecting a dog to meow and a cat to start barking. Listening to constantly is something's just not going to make sense there, right? Mistake number two we make. We are looking for money to grow on trees. We want success to just pop up and grow on a tree. It doesn't work this way. And if we look at it like this, we're going to be over-focused on those get-rich-quick gimmicky products that always overpromise and underdeliver. We'll find ourselves constantly looking for the magic pill, and we'll find ourselves, well, basically waiting for the genie to pop out, grant your wishes, and poof, disappear. It doesn't work that way. I think that all of this can come to us in abundance, but we got to be willing to put in a little bit of work. Mistake number 3, you're leaving out crucial steps. Success leaves clues, as they say, meaning that if you've been able to be successful before, you can be successful again. You got to figure out what steps that it takes to be successful. If you miss out on a step in the middle, everything falls down and falls apart. So you got to make sure you're getting all the steps down. Once you implement this system, you'll be able to free yourself from those negative thoughts and doubts. You'll be able to live your dreams, career, relationship, money, happiness, love. It's all there for you, and it's available to you. You just have to implement the system. You'll know with absolute certainty that you are enough and deserving of being loved. You'll be able to look at that person in the mirror and like who's looking back at you. You'll be able to build quality and long-lasting relationships. And finally, mistake number 4, the biggest mistake that usually keeps us from success is there's no GPS. We find ourselves at that crossroads where we're willing to take action, we're willing to go somewhere, we're willing to work, but we just don't know where to go. Can you imagine jumping in the car? I live in California, and if I were to try to drive to, let's say, New York, I know I have to go opposite of the ocean, but if I don't have a GPS, if I don't have a guide, I'm not going to get further beyond that. If I don't have a map, if you've ever traveled internationally and you go somewhere where you don't know the country, it makes it really hard to communicate without a guide, right? So without a GPS, without a guide, without a map, it makes it really hard for us to achieve the success we want because there's always so many paths to choose from. Why the system will work for you? It does not require a huge time commitment. You can do it from virtually anywhere. And it addresses your unique situation and needs, and it can be applied to virtually any aspect of your life. As I shared with you earlier, I've used this system in virtually any aspect of my life. Relationships, financial, health, you name it. I've used this system, I've tested it, and it works. Remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I think we can all relate to this picture where we've wanted something different, but we keep running into the wall, and it just feels like we can't go any further. So how will you know which way to go, right? Unfortunately, if we choose the wrong path, it inevitably leads us right back to the wall. The problem is with so many paths to choose from, which way do we go? And the way I see it with any success system, there's two options we have. And these are your options. Option 1 is you can try all those paths. You can gamble with your time, your energy, your money, see what works out. It's kind of like rolling the dice and saying any, mini, mighty, mo. You can hope, you can pray. You can continue to buy more books, buy more products, take more courses, spend more money, and use up more of your valuable time that you could likely spend with friends, family, loved ones. Or option 2. And in option 2, I will personally teach you exactly how this system works, why you're not getting the results you want, how to change that, and how to implement those changes so you can finally live the life you were meant to. So here's how the process works if you're somebody who's keen on option 2. Step 1 is you're going to fill out the application. There's a link right below, and there's going to be a link at the end of the video. You just fill out the application, and then you're going to sign up and get a free strategy session with me. Remember, this is for you if you're committed to reaching the pinnacle possibility in your life, and if you're someone who's struggling to find happiness and joy and fulfillment. You want more. If you're someone that wants to thrive versus survive, and if you're frustrated with failing to get the results you want most, this is for you. This is not for you if you're somebody who's looking for a quick fix. This is not a quick fix. I'll promise you that. If you're someone who's unwilling to work, you got to put some work in here. Anything and everything is possible with the system, and you're going to have to put some work in. This is not for you if you're not committed to living your life at less than what you deserve. Or if you're committed, rather, to living your life at less than what you deserve. If you're willing to settle for less in life, if you're willing to just keep things as they are, if you're accepting of the belief that this is it, this system is not for you. So please do not schedule the session if you feel that's you. And I want to keep that time available for people who really want to utilize it. So really quick, just to wrap up, I want you to think about this. What is it costing you to remain where you are? Is it costing you sleepless nights, high levels of stress and anxiety? Is it costing you a constant feeling of overwhelming frustration? Do you find yourself consistently in unfulfilling relationships? How much money is it costing you to stay where you are? Does it cost you energy? You never feel like you have enough energy. You always feel tired. If you feel like you're missing out on life, like on love, on happiness. Do you feel like you're weighed down by that feeling that you're meant for more? What does that cost you? What do you miss out on? Again, you have two options to create the life of your design. You can figure it out all by yourself and waste a fortune in time and money. I did that. I spent a lot of money before I got wise enough to utilize the expertise of somebody. And that's where option 2 is utilize the expertise of someone who has been where you are, paid the price before, and has lived it, learned from it, and can put you on the fast track to have what you want. Remember, you have a choice, and you will always have a choice. So I invite you to come visit my website, www.jessebrisendine.com/life-coaching. You can click on the link below, sign up to get the strategy session. It's just going to be you and I. We'll set aside about 45 minutes of time. We're going to sit down. I'm going to teach you and walk you step by step through the system so you can understand exactly what's not working in your life and how to make that change. This is my gift to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember to click below. The applications just take a few minutes to fill out, and I look forward to having the opportunity to speak with you soon and serve you and helping you really get yourself to a point where you're living your life of purpose and one that's filled with abundance. Thank you, and have an amazing rest of your day. And I'll speak to you soon.